the right cocktail. This episode is called it's called Alcoholic Beverages with Medication. Just a disclaimer, of course, this is not recommended. I don't know any physician that would recommend this. I am just telling you what my experience was when I had an alcoholic beverage with my medication. Um, so my name is Marcia, and the channel is called claiming your neurodiversity. I did not claim my neurodiversity until I was 40, so it's never too late. If you suspect that you have neurodivergent symptoms, go ahead, tell your PCP, and start that process into getting your first psychological evaluation. If you suspect that your child has symptoms of neurodivergency, go ahead and tell the pediatrician. I encourage you, I implore you. We are parents, but we are not professional physicians. So please go ahead and get that eval so you can get your child the help you need. And if it's your prerogative if you do not want to do so. I just want to invite you to this channel. This channel is definitely for you. It'll give you some great insights and my experience, and hopefully, I can give you some actionable steps to do so that you can get the help that you think you need or your child needs. All right, let's get into part 8, the right cocktail, alcoholic beverages with my medication. So, I was telling you guys in part 7 that I had red wine 2 weeks ago at the symphony, and that was at the end of my day after taking my medication. And then last weekend, I was craving Bailey's Irish Cream. They didn't have Bailey's Irish Cream, so I bought Carol Ann's Bailey's Irish Cream. And first, let's start with the red wine. It's a Cabernet Sauvignon, so it's dry, a little sweet, and it's just perfect for me. It has the smell that I like. It has, or should I say, the aroma. When I close my eyes, it sort of I just lift my head back. It takes me to a different world just for a couple of seconds, and it's a wine to me that just really suits me. It mellows me out. I am not drunk. I am not falling over or anything like that. It was a 5-ounce wine that was sold at the intermission of the symphony. That had 5 and 10 ounces, and I knew that I had taken my medication earlier that day, and I don't know if I woke up at 4 a.m. or 7 that day. Um, but either way, I would have taken my medication that early, and then my lamotrigine maybe around noon or 2. So when I had this 5-ounce glass of Cabernet Sauvignon, that was around, okay, the symphony started at 7:30. I would say the intermission was at 8:30, 8:40. So that's when I had the drink. So I thought that it was pretty safe to, again, of course it's not safe to drink while you're taking a medication, but in my mind I thought, well, it's the end of the day, maybe it's being, it's worn off, and I can have a drink. And I I didn't feel drunk, or I wasn't falling over. I wasn't, you know, I didn't have a hangover the next day. I didn't get a headache. I was still in good spirits. I didn't feel depressed or angry or lazy or tired or anything like that. And as a matter of fact, when I went home, I slept really well. Um, which was a big concern for me because I really thought that having this glass of wine was not going to be a good idea because I had taken my medication earlier. And the only other option would be for me to not take my medication, because I knew I was going to have a glass of wine at the symphony. Um, and I said, no way, I cannot skip a day, without, not take, you know, my medication. I can't do that. I wouldn't be able to function, especially if I have to get dressed, put my makeup on, get my perfect outfit for the symphony. I couldn't do that. So I premeditated. That decision was premeditated on whether or not I was going to drink or not, and what exactly I was going to drink, and how much of it I was going to drink. Um, because they also had, like I said, 10 ounces, and I made a decision. No, absolutely not. I'm not drinking that. Um, I sipped the red wine throughout the intermission, and the throughout the first 10 minutes of uh, the second half of the symphony. Throughout the first 10 minutes of the second half of the symphony. So, I didn't chug it or anything. I was able to savor the flavor in my mouth. I was able to, um, my nerves and the excitement was calmed, of course. Um, I did feel a bit sleepy and my eyes were kind of closing. I think I, which is probably why I slept really, really well. When I got home, I did have a really, really, really late snack, though. I did. I had a really, 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 really late snack when I left the symphony. I think I had a sandwich when I left the symphony, and I felt a little better, believe it or not. I felt a little better um, having eaten something with that Cabernet Sauvignon. I probably ate too fast. And so my stomach felt a little too full. So I kind of slept that night sitting up, because after eating and laying down, that's just not a really good idea. The food just sits right there in your chest. So that was my experience with the Cabernet Sauvignon. And then I'll tell you about my experience with the Irish cream. Now, last weekend, I was just obsessed with changing the decorations in my house and doing a bit more detailed in the decorations. I am not a good decorator. I have no idea what I'm doing, but my therapist said that I need to decorate my space so that I can feel like I belong in my home, feel comfortable in my home, and feel connected to it. And I won't feel so detached and depressed and stressed. And she was exactly right. When I first started to buy things to decorate the house, well, first I would get inspiration, wherever I went. Even my therapist office, I got inspiration. She said it's okay for you to take pictures of how I decorated the room. That way you can, draw from it. So I did. And whenever I went somewhere and I saw a beautifully decorated space, I always took a picture of it. And then I got depressed by how much all of it cost. And then I went into the Dollar General and the Family Dollar and Target. And then I got excited. I said, okay, this is not going to be that bad because I can get some stuff that is extremely affordable. Oh, and then I looked at Aldi's website as well because I just thought, oh my gosh, the curtains that are like are extremely expensive. The curtain rods that are like are extremely expensive. The paintings that I like are huge. They cover up almost half of the wall. those are expensive. The lamps I like are expensive. The TV, I really don't like TVs, and I really don't watch TVs. Um, but if I do, I wanted one on the wall. Even though I have one in my bedroom, I watch it sometimes when I do. I'll get hooked and watch it for a little while, but mostly I don't. I mean, I could just read a book. But I decided that I wanted a big one on my living room, so I got it. And then all these other things. I got cute little knickknacks that goes on the wall. Um, let's see what else I got. I'm getting a beautiful rug for the dining room so that the dining room table can go on top of that rug. And I also got some cloth tower. That was from Amazon. Um, it's an organizing cloth tower from Amazon. I got that, and that helped me organize a lot of junk that I had around the house that just needed a place uh, to be out of sight. Things that I use. Like the book I'm currently reading. When I'm reading in the living room, I can just throw that in a drawer opposed to have it lying around. Um, little things like that. So, of course, what you're supposed to do is take your time and get the stuff done. But I got, you know, professional. I got people to come in here and hang this stuff up and, you know, spent the entire weekend last week, which you're really not supposed to do. You're supposed to take this stuff in stride so you don't get stressed out. But of course, not me. Um, I got it all done. I got the curtains put up, the curtain rods. I mean everything. Just the paintings, the pictures on the wall, the cloth tower. I mean, it's just beautifully done. I'm looking around right now. It just looks absolutely gorgeous, and I'm very pleased with it. And I just felt so exhausted. I really did. So, of course, what did I do? I went to bed exhausted. I drank my tea and I listened to my Zen stress relief music. So, the next day, I started decorating again and I said, you know what? I gotta get some Irish cream. So I looked everywhere for Bailey's Irish Cream. They did have a couple of other alcoholic beverage stores that weren't too far at all, but I just really did not have the capacity to go and visit them. So I just visited the closest one, and all they had was Carol Ann's Bailey's Irish Cream. I didn't. I liked the taste, but I didn't like the taste. It tasted um, cheaper, believe it or not. I don't know if that's a proper adjective. It also gave me a headache, so I had to massage my head with my comb um, to get rid of my headache. And I think I went to go grab an ibuprofen, and I didn't see any in my house, and I didn't want to take a Tylenol because Um, I don't know. Tylenol makes things worse. It either makes it worse, it make my headache worse, or it just doesn't work at all. So I did not take any. I didn't take any Tylenol. So I went to bed with a headache, and I woke up really, really sleepy, and then went back to sleep and did not wake up until 12 hours later. So remember, I've been sleeping all night for about 8 hours, woke up, and went back to bed. So I slept all night and all day. It may have to do with the fact that I had 2 glasses of Irish cream instead of one, or it may have to do with the Irish cream itself and the effect it had on me after taking earlier that day Vyvanse and lamotrigine. I don't know. I did not go back and test the theory because the last thing I wanted to do was have 2 glasses of, or even another glass of Irish cream after being out of commission for 24 hours, especially when I had stuff to do. I was on a rhythm, I was getting things done, I was making my YouTube videos, I was decorating, and then being out of commission for 24 hours just made me um, just sort of, lazy again. So I didn't want to go and um, do that again, especially when I know that it's not recommended at all by any physician to drink alcoholic beverages when you're taking your medication, even if it's at the end of the day. I just knew that it would be a bad idea. I had to satisfy that craving, or else I would go crazy. And I really wanted that Cabernet Sauvignon during the intermission. So I just sort of made excuses to myself, like, oh, okay, well, those, you had a craving for those. The craving is over, and now it's done. Move on. So that is my experience with Vyvanse and lamotrigine and red wine, a 5-ounce glass of red wine, specifically Cabernet Sauvignon, and 2 glasses of Carol Ann's Irish cream with ice. I did get it on the rocks. And that will be the conclusion of this um, series, The Right Cocktail. And the name of this particular episode is Alcoholic Beverages with Medication. I will see you guys in the next series. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.